Let's head up to the Pacific Northwest. Let's make a stop in the fishbowl, huh? Why don't we? First time
Okay.
this year, we're going to Washington. Ohio State, number one in the land, traveling to face the Huskies. The Purple Rain, 3:30 on CBS. Opened at 10.5 was the spread. Now it's down to 8.5. Yeah, I think it was as high as 14.5, 13.5 a couple weeks ago. So the spread has come down a full touchdown in favor of the Huskies. Um, my thoughts initially on this game, when we saw Devin Dampier last week go up against a really good defense at Texas Tech. That's immediately where I go to when I look at Damon Williams. Is he going to perform like Devin Dampier did in that game? Damon Williams, if you look at his statistics and what he's done so far this year, he's been elite.
Yep.
And I know they played Colorado State and Washington State, and competition wise, it hasn't been great, but he has been an elite level quarterback.
Yep.
In my opinion, in our opinion, in preseason, we talked about it too. I don't think anything's changed. He's better than Julian Sayin right now. The problem is Damon Williams has to go up against Ohio State's defense. Julian Sayin gets to go up against Washington's defense. So I don't think it may not look. You might not turn that game on at 7:00 on Saturday night and be like, "What do you mean Damon Williams is better than Julian Sayin? Look at this game, right?"
Yeah.
It's deeper than that, right? It's deeper than that. This is the first road start for Julian Sayin in his career. So, obviously, can the Washington D slow down Ohio State offense? That's what it comes down to. We talk about the 4 units, offenses and defenses. The Washington defense is by far the weakest unit.
Yep.
Like Damon Williams is a fantastic quarterback. He is going to have to play lights out, and that D is going to have to create something on defense. They're going to have to create some turnovers. They are 43rd in Kelly Ford's defensive rating for their power rating. And that performance right there is not going to cut it against I'm going to say potentially explosive offense in Ohio State. We haven't really seen it this year. They didn't have to do anything against Texas because Texas couldn't do anything on offense against their defense. Yeah, they beat Grambling 70-0, whatever. And they, kind of exploded in the second half against Ohio, right? So that's really all we've seen of them this year. Washington, I mean, for their defensive faults, they are 3rd in yards per carry allowed. So they can slow down the running game, which obviously will help their pass rush, hopefully get home against Sayin, and they are on offensive side, like I said, they've been elite with Damon Williams, Jonah Coleman, Denzel Boston. They're number 1 in third down conversion percentage. So they're going to have to keep extending drives against that Matt Patricia-led defense. So in your opinion, what's the path to an upset here for Washington?
Got to ugly it up, man. They've got to force some turnovers. They've absolutely got to win the turnover battle. They've got to hit explosive plays with Damon Williams and Denzel Boston and Jonah Coleman and that, 3-headed monster there at that offense. I mean, Damon Williams has to be the explosive, elite, dual threat guy in this game for them to win. Like in games like this, I didn't really mention it much in the Alabama-Georgia breakdown earlier, but like in the bigger games like this, your best players, your elite players, your difference makers have to be that. In games like this, we saw Jeremiah Smith in that playoff run last year for the Buckeyes. He was exactly that. He was a difference maker. He was just better than everybody that they played against. And that's exactly what TreVeyon Henderson did that in the playoffs as well for Ohio State. For Washington to compete and to win the game, they need to force some turnovers on defense, rattle Julian Sayin, and they need Damon Williams to be Superman. And because most teams don't have a guy like Damon Williams, a true dual threat, explosive guy like that. Like other teams have dual threat guys, yes, but not like this cat. And if this is your first time watching him, I mean, he's exciting to watch, no doubt about it. No question. So for me, man, I think it just sucks for Washington that the Buckeyes had a week off. 2 weeks to prep for this game. I mean, I know that we talked about like what was Matt Patricia going to be like coming into this season. Seeing the game plan that he had against Texas, like all the stuff that Dan Orlovsky showed on his screen after the game when he really got deep into the X's and O's about how Patricia just did a masterful game plan of showing you one picture and showing you something else. Like, dude, Damon Williams is really exciting and explosive and all those things. And like, I love watching him play just like you do. Bro, he ain't ever seen anything like what he's going to see this week, man, with the Buckeyes. As
Yeah,
far
and
as,
I think that's where his legs can help him though. I
no, I
mean,
agree.
when he gets a different look, like I think that's going to be one of his first instincts. And obviously, I think they're going to play it a little better. I don't think I'd have to go back and look at the game film. I'm not sure they kept a spy on Arch a lot.
Yeah.
They're going to have to keep a spy on Williams because I mean he is lightning quick, and Fish is going to have some sort of wrinkles in the game
Oh, for
plan.
sure.
Yeah, some plays that he's got saved back in the bag. Like they've been circling this game, for a long time. They get them coming to their house. Like, are you surprised at all by the line move?
A little bit. I mean, it's twofold, man. Like, when do you ever when the Buckeyes aren't playing a top 5 team, when do you ever get the Buckeyes at single digits in a Big 10 game?
Hmm.
You really only get that when they're playing a really good Michigan team or Penn State or Oregon.
Yeah,
So the fact that you're getting the Buckeyes at single dig in a game, it's enticing. But on the flip side, Washington is one of the best home teams in all of college football. You're gonna get Washington at home, like getting 8.5 to 10 points. I'm
I'm
surprised.
really,
I'm
I'm
surprised it's
yep,
under 10.
yeah,
I'm
I'm
surprised it's
really
under 10.
interested. It's the like you mentioned, the noise, man, the noise up there in the Northwest, whether it's the Seahawks Stadium or it's Washington, doesn't matter.
Autzen,
Um,
yeah,
yeah, it's the way they build them up there.
yep,
That noise, they keep the noise in. Again, Saban's first start,
yep,
Brian Hartline's first game as an offensive coordinator on the road.
yep.
They're going to have to go silent. That offensive line is going to have to kind of keep an eye on the ball as they're watching their man too. See when that ball is snapped. Like there's just a lot of stuff that goes into just even getting the snap off in situations like that. But that's where Ohio State, I think, from the very, very beginning, you come out, you run the ball, you go out, you score early, you try to quiet that crowd down as much as you can.
Yep. Nah, I don't disagree, man. Well, I'm going to give a game pick here. I think that Ohio State's just wide receivers in their passing game overall in general. I just don't know how Washington is going to be able to create enough defensively to get after Sayin and slowing down that Ohio State offense. And I think defensively, having a guy like Caleb Downs, that they might be able, they might use him a little bit in the spy deal for Damon Williams and Sonny Styles, really good linebackers like that they've got 2 weeks to prepare for this offense. Again, Washington's best chance to win this game is you hit it on the head, bro. When all else fails and if things aren't working offensively, just Damon Williams being an elite athlete and taking off and making plays. That's the way that they can stay in this game and win this game. I just think it's too much of a tall task. I just think again the Jimmies and the Joes are a lot different between these two teams. And I just think just Husky Stadium being Husky Stadium and being so loud. Yeah, I just think Ohio State gets it done, man, and takes care of business and wins this game.
All right, so another preseason projection here. I had, my original projection. I think I told you, like, I was kind of down on Ohio State. I was like, I think they could go up to Washington and lose this game. Washington gets Ohio State and Oregon both at home this year,
Yep.
so Washington to contend in the Big Ten and for the title race, they got to get one of those games, right?
Yep.
That's bottom line. Absolutely love Ryan Walters as a defense coordinator up there.
Yep.
Think obviously, the cupboard was a little bare. So I think they're, like I said, 43rd on defense in the power ratings. Just not quite there yet. I'm excited to see Ephesians Prysock, the elite DB for Washington, go up against Jeremiah Smith. See what Walters has for Julian Sayin as well on the other, kind of Patricia like. See what he has for them as well. But I said Washington could beat Ohio State in the preseason. I didn't say they were going to. So I'm going to take Ohio State to win. It's not a best bet, but I do like Washington to maybe get under that 8.5. Even if it's a 14, 15-point game, they get a late score to try to do an onside kick, something like that. Get under that 8.5, potentially cover. But I just think, Ohio State's too much. Like they went up to Oregon last year. Granted, Oregon, much tougher team. than Washington is this year, and they lost because Will Howard slid, 1 second too late. This is why they lost. So I mean, that didn't really phase them last year, and obviously we know Ohio State's team was probably a lot better than this year's team. So I like Ohio State to win. I do slightly lean Washington to cover.
Okay.
Yep. Tune in next episode. We're going to cover another handful of games for week 5 because the slate is just so massive that we've got to split it up into 2 different episodes here. So we enjoy doing it, though. We love bringing you guys the content. Again, follow us, Apple, Spotify, YouTube, subscribe to the channel, click on the notifications bell. You'll get notifications every time we drop a video, a preview, a game preview. You can just go and look at your own teams you want to. It's under the segments tab of the YouTube channel. So you can go look for, your specific team preview, game preview. If you want to just watch one game preview, we split them up for you. So again, follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and X. So we're on there putting out our predictions every week. We're going to have a ton of them this week as we have a ton of game previews. So again, tune in next time for Lance Barton. I'm Tyler Noe. Take care, and we will see you tomorrow.